This week on Jambar TV, we'll discuss the approved renovations of Kilcully Center. Then we'll talk about the Makers Academy. Then we'll strike up the conversation with bowling.
Welcome back to Jambar TV. I'm Austin Caroline.
And I'm Reagan Hilton.
On December 16th, YSU police responded to a call about a man who is not a current student following a YSU student to her classes. China Gibbons has more on the story.
According to the incident report, YSU police officers arrived at Bliss Hall around 3 p.m. to arrest Emilio Santiago for criminal trespassing. YSU Police Chief Sean Varso explains YSU's trespassing policies.
If you have no privilege to be on campus, there are public areas on campus. However, the classrooms, the academic buildings and that, you don't really have a privilege to be in unless you are a student or have some business to be there.
According to the report, Santiago was issued a criminal trespass warning the day before. Varso said these are given to people who may have criminal activity, but is also just protocol.
That person then signs the card and acknowledges that they understand that warning to not come onto campus. If we were to find them on campus, then after that, after they've been served that warning, then they are eligible to be arrested for criminal trespass.
According to the report, Santiago knew the female student and she had previously told him to leave her alone. Santiago told the officers he registered for spring classes and he thought he could come to classes early. Officers then informed him since it was still the fall semester he was trespassing. Santiago is then arrested and arraigned for criminal trespassing. His trial is scheduled February 9th. Reporting for Jambar TV, I'm China Gibbons.
The League of Women Voters of Greater Youngstown is seeking nominations for the 2023 Women's Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame recognizes women in the Mahoning Valley for their contributions of local importance and value. Nominations will be accepted until 5 p.m. on Friday, February 24th. To nominate a woman you know, find a link to the form on the League's website.
January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. YSU professor Susan Laird explained what human trafficking is and how to combat it. Here's Jambar reporter Christopher Gillette with more.
Susan Laird is a sociology professor who specializes in studying human trafficking in Ohio. She is also the founder and academic advisor for the YSU Coalition Against Human Trafficking, also known as YCAT. Susan Laird explained what human trafficking is and its elements.
In simple terms, it's modern-day slavery. There are three elements that must be involved in any situation in order for it to be considered human trafficking: force, fraud, or coercion.
Laird said the best way to combat the issue was through education and awareness.
I'm ever amazed at the number of folks that will say to me, well, we don't have that problem here. Making people aware of the problem, I think also making them aware of what to look for in terms of potential victims of trafficking.
Laird also said it's important not to victim blame and we should listen to survivors and their stories.
What we have to make sure to do is not play the shame game or the blame game when it comes to talking about human trafficking, and we need to do that paradigm shift where we see that it's something that is not a choice.
For those interested, YCAT holds meetings every other Wednesday in Brennishan 1 in Kilcully. Their next meeting will be February 8th. They can be found on Instagram or Gmail. For Jambar TV, I'm Christopher Gillette.
On January 21st, YSU's amateur radio station K8 YSU was dedicated at a ceremony in Mosier Hall. The event honored the family of Norm Into Jr., the K8 YSU benefactor. Frank Soule, director of the YSU amateur radio program, said Into's contribution has made amateur radio possible for students on campus.
K8 YSU was birthed on this campus, I want to say in the 80s. I'm not exactly sure the history of it. But Norm Into was one of the founding fathers of it. And he gave YSU equipment, $10,000, $20,000 worth of equipment.
At the ceremony, friends, family, and amateur radio club members gathered to recognize Into's legacy and celebrate K8 YSU's progress. The donations allow students to talk to people all over the world and perform experiments. For more information on the Amateur Radio Club, contact Frank Soule.
During a Board of Trustees meeting in December, updates on Kilcolly's renovation were announced. Jambar reporter Samantha Smith has more on the topic.
A resolution to approve a plan to renovate Kilcolly Center was approved in the December Board of Trustees meeting. Joy Pacabla-Byers, Associate Vice President of Student Experience, explains what that means.
Right now, we are in the phase of assessing the capability to raise the funds needed for a new student center. We're committed to making sure that the university community and to our students and the Board of Trustees of doing this with as much private funds as possible. So we're in the process of developing that campaign and moving forward.
Byers said the timeline for achieving financial goals, finding architects, and finishing the drawing stage may take up to a year and a half. Once renovations start, Byers said the building will be closed for roughly 2 years.
It's something to be really excited about, and I know it's something a long time we've been waiting on, and there's a need for campus to making sure that if that's our heart of campus is what we call our student center, then we need to make sure that we have it be what the students want it to be.
If any student has questions or feedback about Kilcolly, email or call Byers. For Jambar TV, I'm Samantha Smith.
The Outstanding Dietetic Student Award annually recognizes one student in each state that demonstrates leadership within dietetic programs. The YSU student Ashley Chalupka was this year's recipient of the award. Chalupka's professor said this was well-deserved.
Definitely a feather in Ashley's cap, and it's very well-deserved. We're really proud of her and very happy for her.
Chalupka plans to graduate in the fall with a master's in public health and is set to take an exam in December to become a registered dietitian. A ceremony will be held April 14th at Columbus Community College for Chalupka to receive the award.
We're about midway through the academic year, and SGA executives have been working on their campaign promises and a little more. Jambar reporter Cheyenne Gibbons spoke to Nico Masterides and McGuire Franco about their progress.
SGA President Nico and Vice President McGuire ran with 4 campaign initiatives and then later added the Make It Happen campaign.
We added a fifth one late on in the process, which was our Make It Happen campaign. Yeah. And the goal of that was to really engage with the student voice and give them a platform to directly affect our campaign.
Their initial initiatives were administrator transparency, tackling food insecurity, and increasing mental health and academic advising services. For their first initiative, Masterides said SGA has a new social media campaign to take questions from students and interview different administrators.
Our first interview was with President Tressel. We got 9 or 10 different questions in there, and then we'll be releasing all of that soon. So every month, we're hoping to meet with a different administrator and give students an opportunity to ask questions.
For their second initiative, Franco said SGA moved Penguin Pantry's ownership to the Dean of Students and hosted Swipe Out Hunger events to address food insecurity.
We moved it to Dean of Students, and they've done a wonderful job with the relocation. They've gotten many graduate assistants to help out. They're getting a lot of donations, and they're also beefing up how it looks and giving a lot more, curb appeal with the Penguin Pantry. So we're really excited for that.
SGA has partnered with student counseling services and academic services to provide events to increase student engagement as well. Masterides and Franco said they've also partnered with local companies to bring more features to campus, such as solar-powered benches, electric scooters, and increased access to feminine hygiene products. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Cheyenne Gibbons.
We've been dealing with some dreary weather lately. Zonde, how's the weather looking for the rest of January?
We're going to have a dreary winter weekend, low temps with a mix of rain and snow. So be sure to bundle up and be safe on the roads. I have a more in-depth weather report after the break.
The communication department is much more than media or delivering a speech. The YSU Communication Department offers programs in telecommunication, journalism, and communication studies. We inspire creativity. We encourage each student's passion. We explore new and advanced technologies that connect the human race. The communication programs at YSU ensure that every student is prepared and experienced for the outside workforce, for life after YSU. Join the Jambar and find your voice when you tell the next big story. Become a host of Rookery Radio and gain hands-on experience, or get involved with TV productions like Light the Wick, Penguin Rundown, and Jambar TV. YSU's Communication Department is much more than a department, an education, or a degree. It's a home for passionate individuals, for students to find and pursue what they love.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm YN proud.
Hello and welcome back to Jambar TV. I'm Zonde Smith and this is your weekly weather forecast. Let's take a look at this weekend's radar. Today will be cloudy with a 65% chance for snow. On top of that, we'll see winds as fast as 25 miles per hour. Tonight, we'll see around 1 inch of snow accumulated on the ground. Saturday, we'll see around 4 hours of rain and snow mix. But that snow shouldn't stick to the ground. The winds will pick up to around 30 miles per hour. Saturday night, those clouds will stick around, but it is unlikely we'll see any rain. Sunday, there will be a 72% chance for a snow shower. Sunday night, we'll see a small amount of snow, but those wind speeds will drop down to just 9 miles per hour. Now, let's take a look at my 4-day forecast. Today will be the coldest day with the high will only reach 29, only along with the snow you'll want to watch out for. Any ice, the low will drop to 28 degrees. Saturday temps will rise to 37, and that will remain consistent throughout the day. That consistency will go into Saturday night with the high reaching 38, then dropping to 33 by night. Monday will be our warmest day with a high of 40 degrees. The low will drop to 23. That's it for this week's weather forecast. But you'll want to stick around because Zoe Beckadale will be back with Student Life.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm YN proud.
Growing up, I love figuring out how things work, putting things together. I love being able to come up with an idea, design it, just the whole process of creating things. I go to school here at Youngstown State and my passion is 3D design. I chose YSU because all the equipment, the research being done here, it's like a playground for me. I'm Alex and I'm YN proud.
Welcome back to Jambar TV. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Zoe Bechtel. Museums like the Butler Institute of American Art and Steel Museum pop up in our broadcasts quite often, but Editor-in-Chief Elizabeth Koss explored one museum recently and rocked out.
Dinosaur kids and rock lovers alike can find common ground at the Clarence R. Smith Mineral Museum at YSU.
Showcasing a variety of minerals, gemstones, rocks, fossils, and more, the museum is open to the public and collaborates with classes. Stephanie Hudzik, the museum specialist, explained that much of the current in-house showcase was originally donated by Clarence R. Smith Sr. and his son.
Clarence Sr. was a Youngstown native, came from very humble beginnings and built himself into a very accomplished businessman. And it was in the last decade of his life that he really got into mineral collecting. He had so many of them that he was able to display them at his personal property, which was in Boardman, Ohio, and it was open to the community. So there was a geology professor at YSU who said, "Oh, minerals, let me go take a look." And he was just like, "Wow, there's some cool stuff here." He said, "Hey, you know, can I borrow some of these to teach with?" Because at the time, the geology program didn't have hand specimens to pass around to students.
Smith Sr. began collaborating with that geology professor, whose name was Ikram Khawaja. And that allowed the bridge for the university to finally gain access to those minerals. Smith's son, following his father's passing, then donated much of the collection to the university. Hudzik has recently been going through the collection storage, finding hidden gems in the rough.
I found a bunch of drawers they were just labeled fluorescent minerals, and I was like, okay, cool, let's see let's see what happens. So a lot of them did have really bright fluorescence, so we opened the case up and we just filled it to the brim as much as we could. So that was cool, and I would like to do that with a few more cases, like our fossil collection, and specifically we have a lot more fossils in storage, and I think it'd be neat to put them out here. You know, why keep them in boxes when people can come take a look at them? So right now I'm just kind of getting it all organized in the back and trying to figure out what we want to put out and what signs we want to use, and so everything takes time, but we're getting there.
The museum is free and open to the public, and more information about tours and times can be found on their website. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Elizabeth Koss.
A local organization, Lit Youngstown, partners with YSU, having a variety of programs for student involvement, including workshops, book clubs, and special events. Karen Schubert, director of Lit Youngstown, said she values the partnership.
You know, I really value our partnership with the YSU community. We've had many collaborations. I have so many friends here from studying here and teaching here, and I think YSU is a really phenomenal asset, particularly the humanities and arts programs that so many of us went through that really shaped our lives.
The organization's book club, Food for Thought, last reviewed Tommy's Oranges, There There, and discussed the novel's themes. For more information, visit the organization's website. The Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning Valley, along with the Michael Kusalaba Library, is offering the Makers Academy program. With the program, the community can learn how to use the equipment the libraries offer at each location. The Makers Academy will feature a different piece of equipment each month, with this month featuring ironing and laser engraving.
We did 2 different projects because a lot of the equipment is different. Some is the same, but most is different. But we also wanted to have some variety and hit on some different interests of different people.
Participants who attend 10 programs and complete their punch card will receive a prize. The Makers Academy is free and anyone can participate. With the new spring semester starting, YSU held its semi-annual student organization fair on January 11th. Caleb Queen, head of student involvement, explains what the fair is.
We have about 180 student organizations on campus, and we allow them to reserve a table at the event so that they can recruit new members.
There were many student organizations with booths at the fair. Kendra Bradley, a first-year pre-dental hygiene major, said her organization, Student Government, gave her a voice.
I joined because I feel like voices are silenced when it comes to the younger generations. So it gets our word out there, and we're able to help people that feel like they are smaller, and we create a voice for the people that feel like they do not have one or are not able to say what they need.
The Student Organization Fair takes place at the beginning of every new fall and spring semester. For more information on how to be involved, contact Caleb Queen, head of student involvement. You'd be smart to stick around, as Guy Tepsik will be in the studio with sports.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud. You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm Y and proud.
Growing up, I love figuring out how things work, putting things together. I love being able to come up with an idea, design it, just the whole process of creating things. I go to school here at Youngstown State and my passion is 3D design. I chose YSU because all the equipment, the research being done here, it's like a playground for me. I'm Alex and I'm Y and proud.
The Youngstown State women's basketball team continued conference play last week, hosting 2 home games and then 2 on the road, going 3-1. Last week, the Lays defeated Robert Morris 65-48, but then lost a close game to IUPUI by a score of 64-61. The Penguins then hit the road, defeating Green Bay 63-60 and snapping their 11-game win streak. Youngstown State also defeated Milwaukee 61-51. With the win, the ladies improved to 14-5 overall and now are tied for first place in the Horizon League. Only 12 games left in the season, 6 of the last 8 are at home, and head coach John Barden said this is great.
Yeah, I think six of our next 8 are at home. So I mean, it's exciting. We've got great crowds, great community support. Always like to play on our home court. So hopefully that'll give us an advantage here over the next 8 games.
The ladies return home this week to take on Wright State and Northern Kentucky. For more information, you can go to ysusports.com. The men's basketball team completed their 4-game road stretch against Milwaukee on January 21st. 4 Penguins scored in double figures, but it was not enough to stop the Panthers en route to an 88-75 loss. Despite the loss, the Penguins' offense was led by senior Brandon Rush with 19 points, while graduate student Malik Green added 17 points and 11 rebounds, recording his 5th double-double of the year. With the Penguins down early in the first half, senior Dwayne Cohill led the way in the second half with a 16-point effort, while graduate student Adrian Nelson added 11 points of his own. Defensively, Youngstown State allowed the Panthers to shoot 12 three-pointers, 10 coming from the first half. The Penguins improved to 15-6 overall and 7-3 in conference play. In preparation for the 4-game homestand, senior Bryce McBride said why the fans watch the Penguins play.
Everybody loves offense. Nobody really pays attention to defense that much. So when you say Youngstown, the first thing that comes to mind is they're averaging 80-some points a game. We got to go see what the hype is about. So I say it's our offense.
The men's basketball team plays tonight at 9 p.m. against Oakland University. For the first time this season, the game will be featured on ESPN2 and can be listened to on 570 WKBN. The Youngstown State University men and women's track and field team had an impressive start January 20th, with 9 Penguins claiming event victories at the YSU Collegiate Invitational presented by Southwoods Health at the Watts. In the women's shot put, junior Lauren Sheehan led the way with a 14.05-meter mark, while senior Zach Gray won for the men with a 17.29-meter throw. In the triple jump, junior Nia Williams Matthews won the event for the Penguins with a jump of 12.33 meters. Matthews was named Nike Horizon League Track and Field Athlete of the Week. In the women's pole vault, senior Erin Bogard led the charge, clearing the bar at 4 meters to win the event, while junior Dorian Chanot finished in a tie for first for the men. In the men's high jump, junior Lonnie Harper finished strong by winning the event with a 2.02 meter leap. The men and women's track and field team is back in action Friday, January 27th at the YSU College Mid-Major presented by Southwoods Health. After the winter break, the bowling team rolled into the second half of its season. Elizabeth Koss strikes up the conversation.
The women's bowling team made names and kicked back into action in the Sacred Heart University Northeast Classic this past weekend on January 20th through 22nd. Coach Doug Kuberski spoke before the matchup about what it's like to finally hit the lanes.
Yeah, they hit the ground running. They were aggressive and they really came together very, very quickly. And, you can just see the confidence get, bigger and bigger and grow higher and higher as the semester went on.
On day one, the women rallied together in Baker's matches, ending the day ranked third. The women scored a team high score of 5,099. The women kept the ball rolling into day two when they took on traditional matches, but fell down to 6th in rankings. Going 3-2 on the day, junior Kristen Moore placed 9th individually, knocking down 1,093 pins and was named to the tournament all-team second team. On day 3, the Penguins had high hopes but fell short initially in bracket play. Losing to Maryville University 1-4, the women then faced off against Arkansas State University and won 4-3. The win landed the women in a rematch against the Saints, where they'd finally come out on top 4-3. Sophomore Lindsay Enos joined the starting lineup for the rematch and said it was tough going in.
We lost our first match, which kind of sucked, but that, I think, was more of a motivation and a drive behind the performance the next two matches. We were like, okay, well, we might not be able to get third anymore, but we can get fifth.
The ladies have another tournament this week and will travel to Arlington, Texas for the Prairie View A&M Invitational January 27th through 29th. For scores and more, visit ysusports.com. Reporting for the Jambar, I'm Elizabeth Koss.
The men's tennis team is 0-2 for the 2022-2023 season. The Penguins lost to Butler University in a 5-2 decision on January 20th, then lost again to Dayton University 5-3 January 22nd. The men's tennis team is playing the University of Buffalo at home on January 26th, and then will be in Toledo today against the University of Toledo. For more information about those games, go to ysusports.com. Now let's throw things over to Zonde for a quick weather recap.
Thanks, Guy. Like I said earlier, this weekend isn't looking too great. You'll want your hats and gloves for the snow and low temps.
Alrighty, so since we're going to be having some pretty warm temperatures this weekend, do any of you guys have any plans this weekend?
I definitely think I'll be at the men's basketball game tomorrow. Haven't been to one yet this semester.
I haven't been to any yet either. How about you?
Probably just doing more homework.
I'm just working all weekend.
Yeah, well, I'll be working all weekend too, so I won't be getting any of the nice temperatures this weekend. But let's say thank you for coming in to watch. Thank you for coming in for the news this week, Jambar TV. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, Penguins.
Support for Jambar TV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.